Hi guys, happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Stretch. I'm excited to come in today because this one I've been thinking about for the last week and really wanted to bring it to the table to talk about stretching yourself in leading by example. And as a leader or as a business owner or as a sales person, someone who's in sales, something that is really important for all of us to do is to lead by example. I mean, really, right? Even as a parent, we should be leading by example. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit in terms of, one, how important it is to me to always make sure that any role that I'm in or expectations, really, that I have for either my staff or for my clients or for my children, that I am leading by example in setting those expectations. So one thing I wanted to share with you is to really think about how that might correlate with your world. So it might not be, right, called to you lead by example, because what if you don't necessarily lead others? So that might feel like, okay, well, that's not something that I need to worry about. But say it is that you're selling a product. What does that mean then for you? To be a product of your product, to be taking your product or using your product or really creating a story for yourself with your product. Now, does that mean if you are let's say a personal trainer, you have to be like 100% top-notch fit? I don't think so. Some might say yes, but it should be in your story, right, that you are working towards your physical health. If you are the leader of an organization, does that mean that you have to know everything in the weeds? You have to be a subject matter expert right alongside your technical team? No, it doesn't. And oftentimes it's better to let the experts do their job and you lead them. But what that does mean is the expectations that you're setting for them, that's where you need to lead by example. So if it is you have expectations around shift timing, that you show up, that you're present. If it is that you have an expectation of presence in a meeting when you are going over something, then that means when they're sharing with you, your phone's away as well, your laptop's closed. If that means a prioritization of client tasks and presenting to them effectively, you're doing that too. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the weeds and you know everything that they do and lead by example in that way, but rather by the expectations that you set. Another example would be if you are selling something, but not necessarily something that is something you use. So you have a service, such as something like I can't necessarily coach myself and use my own services in that way, but I can absolutely, in the ways that I'm coaching my clients, lead by example and also following through in that manner. So if I'm talking to them about time management, then I want to make sure that in leading by example, I am managing my time well. If I am talking with a client around brand management and how to represent themselves best professionally, or even branding from a marketing side in terms of their business they may be starting, then I want to make sure that my business is on point in terms of the brand that I'm putting out there. So, right, if you think about those that offer services in that way, that they may not necessarily offer the service to themselves, so a lawyer, an accountant, that kind of thing, you still want to make sure, though, that you are leveraging the right resources, that you have your books, right, in line as an accountant, because I know who I would pick as my accountant is the one that I know is taking care of his or her books well. Same thing with the lawyer. So leading by example in that way, right? So it's all about the expectations that we want to put out there for those that we are serving, selling to, working with, and leading by example alongside those expectations. So just wanted to give you that nugget for this week. I hope you guys are having a good week, staying sane inside your homes, and I'll talk to you next week on the Wednesday Stretch. Bye, guys.